Hi friends, in our time together today, I'm going to introduce the Foggy Dew. Now there are a few tunes by that name, but this is the Foggy Dew. The session website lists it as a waltz, but that's because the session website doesn't have the appropriate categories for this tune. The Foggy Dew could be listed as an air, a ballad, a lament, a rebel song. Any of the above would be appropriate to use. I've really been wanting to introduce this tune for a while, but there's so much to introduce, so much to talk about. So things get backlogged. We'll follow our usual format. I'll include a link at the top of the notes to this video so that you could access the page on my website from which to download the music and tabs if you'd like. I'll walk us through the tune standing so that you could see my fingers. We'll talk about any challenges you may experience, ornamentation and expression, and then dive into an overview of the history of the tune. Now, this tune doesn't have a wide variety of settings to it, and I think that's because this has really come down through the years with the lyrics tightly woven to the tune. And so the lyrics that are so closely connected to the tune have kind of protected the tune, though you can become very expressive with it. And I have heard it played different ways, but that's more when you're expressing it, you could do different things. Like I said, I'll play through the tune standing so that you can see my hands. We'll call that the play along with Scott section. I'll play at a moderate pace. If you would like to really have somebody to play it with and learn it that way, or if you've got the music and you want to play along with me, the play along with Scott section is designed for that. And I'll include chapters so that you can bounce back to that or go to that section very easily. I believe most of us will find this a tune that we could play fairly easily. But I don't know that this is a tune that we'll be able to fully express easily. I'm jumping ahead of myself just a little bit. Here's the tune. In and of itself, the tune is so beautiful, such a delight to play. When you marry it with the words, it becomes very emotional. Anyway, but I'm jumping ahead again. Hang on. Now, let's think. Again, like I said, it's not really that difficult to play. This is a tune for me where I love listening to my tone quality as I play, because you've got those gentle and smooth transitions between the notes. So it's great. It's great for that. Thinking about ornamentation and expression, this is a tune you don't necessarily want to skip and hop through. It's remember, it's an air, it's a ballad, it's a lament, it's a rebel song. So, we need to get into that. And depending upon how you want to approach it, kind of dictates how rapidly you play it. I've heard this tune played and sung at a very lament pace and ornamented at a lament pace. And when I share instead of sharing a practice session, I'm pretty sure I'm going to share my playing this as an expression. I'll play it more the lament pace on my low D when I play it. And when I play it on the high D, I'm going to play it more at that rebel song story pace. And the words of the tune of the lyrics will let us lean either way. So I'd like you to listen, as I normally say. Listen to me, but listen to a few other people. Find particularly some of the groups that are singing the tune and watch the variation with which they express the tune, and then come back and play it, or even play along with them. That's a brilliant idea, and that will help you a lot, because playing with them, assuming they're in the right key, is going to force you to ornament it in accordance with the style at which they're playing it. All right, let's dive into the history of the tune. It was 1919. Charles O'Neill was a curate at St. Peter's Cathedral in Belfast. He later became a parish priest. But on January the 21st, 1919, and I want you to think about what was going on in Ireland a few years before that and what was going on in the world at 1919, and you're going to start to get a feel. I think O'Neill must have been very sensitive to current events, very passionate about his country, in addition to his ministry, I imagine. So on January the 1st, 1919, O'Neill was honored to attend the very first meeting of the independent Irish legislature. He found it very moving. He also found it very troubling. You see, it is reported that 34 members could not attend because, quote, they were locked up by the foreigners, and 26 others just didn't attend. We don't know if they were too scared or if it was a protest or what the deal was. But O'Neill, Charles O'Neill was deeply moved by the experience. Now remember, this is a curate, so he's likely a wordsmith anyway. As soon as this first meeting of the independent legislature is over, he goes back home, grabs his pen and some paper, and he writes a poem that's expressing his feelings coming out of the meeting, his feelings of the reality of what happened in Ireland 3 years ago with the Easter uprising, what was happening with Irish people in 1919, and what was happening globally. You see, he was moved, so he's got this juxtaposition and his feelings about it in the lyrics. And this is why I'm going to stick the lyrics into the notes to this video, and I really want you to read them, please. You can look them up anywhere online, of course, but I've got them in the notes to the video. Check them out. So, you see, he's seeing the contrast of those who are pouring themselves out into trying to make Ireland a free land and to escape the oppression of the British government. At the same time, he sees like 200,000 of his countrymen who are wearing British uniforms fighting in World War I. He's having a hard time with those two realities just banging into each other. And so he writes this moving, stunning poem to express his feelings about it. Now, the poem was published in 1919, and Charles O'Neill didn't use his real name. Now, there is an old tune that was first published in 1866 called the Moorlough Shore. And you can find that tune on the session website and other places. And that was the tune that was used as the basis to be married with O'Neill's poem. Now, I didn't find any evidence that O'Neill was the one to marry them, or if someone else did. If you have evidence, hard evidence to say that as to who brought the tune and the poem together, please let me know, because it was beautifully done. I think the tune was massaged just a little bit to accomplish that. It's brilliant. So words, tune, married to make this passionate, expressive rebel song, lament, air, ballad, whichever you want to call it. So, my friends, I hope you love passionately diving into learning and playing the Foggy Dew. Until next time, this is Scott Shade. Happy whistling.